Okay, so Bo Nickal is going to be the featured prelim at UFC 322 in a couple of weeks, and he's been downgraded, some will say, from the opener of the main card down to the featured prelim. Now, there has been a little bit of uproar about this. I don't know if Bo's made his feelings very clear about it, but the MMA community and ex-fighters seem to agree that he actually deserves to be on the prelims and not the main card. And to me, it was criminal in the first place that he was going to be the opener of UFC 322 of the main card. It just doesn't make sense. We can't forget his history, who he's fought, right? And I know star value comes into this. I know brand value, credibility, star power, your name. He's really not a star, though. Really, is he? Yes, he has an elite background and a pedigree in amateur wrestling, and he succeeded at, a pretty damn high level. We can all agree on that. That's not what we're debating about. But like some of them who have come from a different background, they've come into the sport, and he's been challenged because he's facing fighters at the highest level, the creme de la creme, the top of the crop. That's just how it is. And he's been caught out. Now, some will say fraud checked. I'm not going to go as far and say as fraud checked. He's definitely been checked, though. Okay? But when you're looking at the card here, and here's where a lot of people have got issues with this, right? A lot of people are saying, well, especially Josh Thompson, obviously MMA fighter, ex-UFC fighter, has his own podcast, does a little bit of analytical work, analyst work. He's actually saying, well, hang about, he doesn't even deserve to be on the prelims. He should be maybe on the early prelims. And I'm like, I kind of see it. Not just to be awkward, I do kind of see that. But if you look at the card, you've got the main card, right? And they had Dariush and BSD as the featured prelim and Bo Nickal as the main open. That's fucking insane. Dariush in BSD not only has more star power, I would say, equally bigger names than Bo Nickal for sure, especially BSD is riding hot right now, much better fighters, been in way more interesting fights, both of them have. And yeah, they've been around longer. They just seem to be just a better fighter, more star value. Why did they deserve to be on the featured prelim? It doesn't make sense. And now they flipped it around, which is good. But if you're looking at the card, obviously the main card is the main. Does Bo Nickal deserve to be the fight before Leon Edwards and Carlos Prates? Absolutely no way. We're looking at the prelim card, right? You've got Wellmaker against Haddon, Blanchfield against Cortez, Kopilov against Hobocop Rodriguez, and then you've got Nickal Vieira. For me, switch those around. I think Kopilov, Robocop should be the featured prelim personally, because Robocop is making his name, right? I know he got beat a couple of fights ago, but the guy's a fucking machine, is Robocop, right? He's an animal. And you could even argue, and I know people might hate this, you could even argue that Blanchfield against Cortez deserves to be at a higher place than Nickal against Vieira. I personally do. Now, when you get into the bottom of the pack for the preliminary card, not the early prelims, the normal prelims, you've got Malcolm Wellmaker, who's a good fighter, right, on a tear, as we know, against Cody Haddon. I would maybe say that Bo Nickal and Rodolfo Vieira should be above Wellmaker and Haddon. And I think you'd push the rest of them up towards the top. That's my personal opinion. Because you've also got to look at the records of the guy, right? And this is where people are they're getting up in arms about, you've got Bo Nickal nut riders. I get it from the wrestling community. I absolutely get it. But he came in hot, right? And he fought cans, let's be honest. He fought absolute cans. Okay? Donovan Beard, Jamie Pickett, cans, Val Woodburn, bit more of a credible name. Cody Brundage, he's fucking useless, absolutely useless. And then let's be honest, this is where he got more challenged. Paul Craig. I mean, it was a terrible fight, terrible fight. Paul Craig, again. Paul Craig isn't a striker. You don't look at a Paul Craig fight or hear his name and go, oh yeah, he's going to fuck you up on the feet. He can barely punch. Let's just be, I like Paul Craig. I like him. He seems a gem of a guy. He seems a really nice, humble guy. I like watching him being interviewed. He seems salt of the earth, Scotsman, down the road from me. But let's be real. Let's just say it how it is and call a spade a spade. Paul Craig is not going to fuck you up on the feet. He has the same high kick every single time, the hook and the occasional cross, but usually it's that same high kick. It's the kick, the back high kick all the time, bang, just the same move all the time. And it was a lackluster performance from Bo Nickal. Sort of jabbed his way through it. It was very, very boring. And at that point, that's when people were beginning to really see Bo Nickal and go, okay, you've got to this level now. You fought cans and you made hard work of Paul Craig. Like, that's not how it is. And then, of course, he fought RDR and the rest is history. And we all know what went on with the RDR fight. And again, it showed Bo Nickal's lack of experience. I'm not dissing him for that, but also the skill level. Again, he's fought two grapplers. Paul Craig, grappler. BJJ, expert. RDR, the same. Grappler. BJJ, practitioner, right, at the highest level. Bo came unstuck against RDR, right? Again, RDR's not someone you look at and go, he'll fuck you up on the feet, bro. He's better than Paul Craig on his feet, but he's not, anyone else in a top 10 level like that who's good on the feet in the middleweight division. Absolutely fucking no chance. And those knees weren't pretty. They were heavy. Anyone would really go down. Most people will go down from them. So I'm not like knocking Bo. I don't think he quit. I'm really not saying that. But we're talking levels here. We're talking absolute levels. And he got found out. I'm not going to say fraud checked, but he got found out. So he's taken time off. I remember on Ariel Helwani's show months ago, he said, oh, I'm taking some time off and I'm going to go and do a wrestling competition, which I believe he did. I don't take note of it. I didn't follow it, but he did do the competition. It's his bread and butter, right? It's his staple. That's what he's done. That's all he knows. But the way he was saying, the way he was talking on this interview, and I might be wrong in saying this, I kind of got the impression he was going to take a lot longer off. Like he was, maybe I'm looking into too much into it. I kind of got the impression like, you're done from MMA. That's kind of what I took. I was like, oh, this guy's not interested. He's been beaten once. And I was like, you're not interested. He's going to fuck off for a while. Anyway, it's only been 6 months. So this should be an interesting fight. But in terms of Bo as who he is, when he tweeted out to say, I did a tweet the other day saying I'm going to be main card. I don't like Bo Nickal. I don't like the guy's personality. I certainly wouldn't blend with him very well. I think he's very, very egotistical, and you can say that about many fighters as well. But Bo has, and bear in mind, I've watched this sport for probably 15 years. Bo has a very, very unlikable personality. And you can say that about me. Some fucking people hate me, that's fine. But I'm not famous, and I'm not in the UFC at the highest level or any level. But Bo is a very unlikable guy to me. His ego is very big and fragile. He loves himself. I think the fame got to him. I think he thinks he's better than he actually is. I didn't like how he handled his loss against RDR on his podcast or whatever he did. He was shit talking about the fans and MMA media, basically just calling everyone cunts, essentially. And then he came on Ariel Helwani and said like he was tongue-in-cheek and he was joking. And I just thought that was a really shitty, scummy move. I did. I just thought, own it. Own it. Take accountability. That's how you grow as a person, by owning your shit. Just come out and say, yeah, I didn't take the loss very good because I'm a fighter. I'm a winner. I've won at the highest level of wrestling. And I think he would have got I know he would have got a lot more respect and credibility if he'd have come out, held his hand up and said, yeah, I handled that poorly. This loss fucking hurts. And then people would be like, good for you, bro. Good for you, because it hurting that much is what you need. It's gotta fucking hurt. It's got to wound you badly because that's how you make change. So I'm excited to see how the fight goes. I really am looking forward to seeing how the fight goes. Rodolfo Vieira, I think it's a match made in heaven for Bo Nickal, this fight. I see him as winning this. I think he'll win it with relative ease. And I think it's a perfect placement fight for him to come back after a loss. I think the UFC see star quality in the guy. I think they know he's got a fan base that either loves him or hates him, and they can capitalize on the back of that personally. And I don't think they're testing him, fully testing with Vieira. Not a terrible fighter, but he's not someone elite, is he? Let's be honest with you. And I know Bo Nickal's not elite, of course. But it's a fair, very fair matchup, I would say, for a return fight. I think the UFC are looking after him. He's got brownie points for whatever reason. Star value, probably. So, yeah, let's see how he gets on, and let's see how he handles the victory when he wins, because I'm confident he's going to win. I'll be interested to listen to his post-fight interview, if Rogan's doing it, or DC or whatever, and how he handles it on social media. And, of course, we know Ariel Helwani will probably have him on a few days after, so I'm looking forward to seeing how he reacts to that, to see how big his ego gets, and also his next matchup as well. So let me know what you think in the comments. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care.